Hi Gemini, and welcome to your horoscope for March 2025. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My horoscopes are based on the UK time zone, and please watch them in this order: rising sign first, then your sun sign, and finally for your moon sign. So I'm going to break March down into 4 weeks, and I'm going to have a look at how the moon is moving through your chart, how it supports you in what areas of your life, and when. So week 1, or the first 9 days of the month really, Saturday the 1st until Sunday the 9th of March. On the 1st, we have the moon in Pisces, and that's in your 10th house of career and work. And on the 27th of February, we had a new moon in Pisces. And I'll make a separate video on that to give you more information. But for you as a Gemini, it takes place in that 10th house of work. And a new moon is when the moon pulls in a ton of energy. And Pisces is spirituality. It's connecting to the higher realms. And it's the end of the journey. It's the last sign of the zodiac, right? So for you, it's really going to give you a great understanding of what is my work all about. Am I happy with what I'm doing and the impact it has? Or do I want to make any changes in that area? And the first of the month is still going to give you the opportunity to consider that. Also, on the 1st of March, we have Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity, that goes retrograde until the 12th of April 2025. And it goes retrograde in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. When Venus is retrograde, it's not the best time to start a new business or a new relationship because your focus on what you love can be off. The good thing about it is that you can consider things that in the past you dismissed out of hand that would actually work for you, but you may have dismissed them because your parents said that wasn't something that you engage with, or that society said that isn't ideal. It may be something that you may now look at again and say, actually, this is something I still care about, regardless of what other people say, and I'm going to pursue this and pick it up again. On the 2nd and 3rd of March, the moon goes into Aries, and it is in that 11th house, and it joins Venus in retrograde and Chiron, an asteroid known as the wounded healer, that's also in that 11th house. So it's the same thing really. I'm willing to look at something I dismissed in the past, and I'm willing to look at my hopes and dreams and see where I have got rid of stuff that actually would have benefited me and how I can heal that situation by picking those things back up. On the 3rd of March, we've got Mercury, your ruler, that ingresses into Aries. And for you, that's really good news because Mercury in Aries is very forthright. It's very confident. It's very able to say, this is what I think. This is what I feel. And I'm going to express that without censoring myself. I'm in charge. I'm the leader. I'm the boss. So it being in your 11th house of hopes and dreams then as well, if there's something that you have kind of suppressed or you've censored yourself, with this shift of Mercury going into your 11th, you may find that it's difficult to stay quiet about that, and you may find that you just splurt that out, if that's a word. You just express it without really thinking. So if there's something that you absolutely want to keep to yourself, no matter what, something you're taking to the grave, just pay attention to that because you may have loose lips here when Mercury goes into Aries. But also on the 15th of March, I know I'm jumping ahead a bit, but your ruler Mercury, it goes retrograde then until the 7th of April. So use the first half of March to really express things that you want to express, to present yourself as confident. So things like job interviews, or to show up in negotiations and say, I'm not going to budge on this. This is what I want to get out of these discussions. It really is something where you're able to fight your own corner and where you're not going to be willing to censor yourself. Then on the 4th and 5th, the moon goes into Taurus, and it moves into your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. And it joins Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and the unexpected and the chaotic, also in Taurus in that 12th house. And that's interesting because during this 2-day period, you may have a dream or some sort of intuitive insight that says, wouldn't it be wonderful if I built this in my life? So the theme I'm getting so far for you, Gemini, is that you break free from censorship here in March, that anything that's kept you kind of in a box, you're no longer willing to accept that, and the universe is kind of working with you to give you ideas and insights that say, I'm going to live my dream life, I'm going to make it happen for myself. Then on the 6th and 7th, the moon goes into your sign of Gemini, and it joins Jupiter, the lucky planet in Gemini, in your first house of self. So these are the best days to really show up in public and to do the speech or to do the job interview or to appear on TV or on social media and to make an impact, to really express what you're thinking and feeling in a way that you're satisfied with, as in it comes out the way you intended. And Jupiter is about growth, right? So if you're trying to make yourself really well known on social media, or if you're trying to have some sort of breakthrough where people pay attention to what you're saying, if you're a political activist and you want your demonstration to really make an impact, the 6th and 7th are great days for that. And then the moon goes into Cancer, and it does that on the 8th and 9th of March, and it joins your transiting rising, Hades and Mars, also in Cancer, in that second house. So the 8th and 9th are great days for you to take care of your finances and to get anything sorted out in that area, to get organized and on top of your finances. It could be getting rid of direct debits that you'd forgotten about, or maybe even on a larger scale, looking at your income and seeing, can I make changes here, or could I create a second source of income? How can I take care of myself by creating more abundance and prosperity in my life? On the 8th of March, that's the day of March where it's best to see your ruler, Mercury, in the night sky and look for the planet in the west just after sunset. And you'll see your ruler shining brightly there. And at that time, it's still in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. And it's kind of like a visual representation, or it's kind of like having a cosmic friend that's up there sparkling at you and saying, don't accept less than you deserve. If you don't fit into this identity or this box, stop living in it. Live your life as you truly want to live it and break free. So the first week of this month is incredibly empowering to you in terms of being more like your true self. The moon starts on the 1st in your 10th house, and it ends up on the 9th in your second house. So that's your fourth quadrant, houses 10, 11, 12, and then houses 1 and 2. So there's something that transcends the existing self, or there's something that encourages you to be more than you are already. And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you, but it means that there are dreams and desires and ways of living that are unfulfilled and that you haven't tried yet, and the universe is encouraging you to try those out now. Week 2, Monday to Sunday, the 10th to the 16th of March, the moon is in Leo on the 10th, 11th, and 12th. And again, that's in your third house of communication. So anything where you need to present, anything where you need to get your point across, or where you need to be charming, or you need to come across in a way which is attractive to other people. The 10th, 11th, and 12th, if you show up, will ensure that there's something about you that's kind of magnetic to others, where they will want to listen and they'll want to hear what you've got to say. Then on the 13th and 14th, the moon moves into Virgo, and it goes into your 4th house of family and your roots. So if there's something in your living situation that you no longer want to experience, or if there's certain relationships in your life that are just kind of ticking along and you haven't paid attention to it, and again, you felt a sense of duty and obligation, Virgo is very much about analysis and detail. It's also ruled by Mercury, right? So it's kind of like your cousin, and it will give you understanding about these roots in my life, whether it's people or living situations or locations. These are the ones that work for me, and these are the ones that don't. And this is what I'm going to do about changing these circumstances moving forward. Also on the 14th, specifically, that's when this is strongest because we have a lunar eclipse on the south node. It's a full moon in Virgo. And an eclipse, the influence can be felt for 6 months. So you'll notice this until August. And from the 14th of March until August, the things that are really the most secure in your life, the things that you rely upon as your foundations, you'll have a really clear understanding on what gives you a genuine sense of belonging and a genuine sense of security. And those things you can work towards expanding and bringing more of those into your life. And anything that just parades as giving you security or making you feel like you belong, you'll be able to get rid of that because you recognize that it's a fake. On the 15th and 16th, we've got the moon going into Libra, and it moves into your 5th house of what you love to do and what you love in terms of romance and love for your own children. So you'll be able to connect with all of those things and again, get a clear understanding or a different perspective, as in this thing that I'm connected to right now, do I still enjoy doing this? Do I want to connect with this person? But pay attention because Mercury then is retrograde, your ruler. Venus is also retrograde. And the good things about the retrogrades is that you're willing to see things differently. So if you apply that to things that exist in your life, you may discover something wonderful that you had overlooked. But if it's new relationships or new job opportunities, you may be tricked into thinking something is wonderful that later on you then look at and go, well, actually, it really isn't. So kind of be cautious around signing up for the next 5 years based on a whim, and make sure that you proceed with caution here, I would say. So on the 15th, I mentioned this already, but your ruler Mercury goes retrograde until the 7th of April. So expect issues with communication and transportation from then on, and give yourself extra time for delays or things not being delivered in the way you'd expected. So in week 2, let's see, the moon started in your 3rd house of communication and it ended up in your 5th house. So that's really your roots. So this second week is really about discovering what is a genuine foundation, what can I really rely on, what's a genuine support in my life and what isn't, what's an imitation of something genuine. And then again, I think the whole of March is about you no longer tolerating phonies and fakes in your life. Week 3, Monday to Sunday, 17th to 23rd of March. On the 17th, the moon is still in Libra, so the same thing applies. Then on the 18th and 19th, the moon goes into Scorpio and it goes into your 6th house of health and the daily routines and structures of your life. And it joins Vesta at 18 degrees in Scorpio, also in that 6th. So this is a 2-day period where it's really, I'm uncovering again the lies and I'm getting down to the truth of what really holds me up and builds me up in my life and what doesn't. So the job, if I enjoy it, I'm going to maintain it and I'm going to do more in it so that it grows. My diet, if that's kind of sending me to an early grave, then I recognize that and I'm going to make changes to it to ensure that I eat a healthy diet. Exercise, if I'm doing none of it, same thing. I think you get my gist. So it's about identifying what really is healthful and what allows you consistency in your life and how to bring more of that into your everyday experience. On the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, the moon goes into Sagittarius, and it goes into your 7th house of relationships, and it opposes Jupiter in Gemini in your 1st house of self. And this may be controversial. Let me know in the comments what you think. But despite Venus and Mercury being retrograde, I think you may meet an amazing person in a romantic way that is destined to be in your life despite the retrogrades of Venus and Mercury. So if you meet someone, again, exercise caution, but I think the 20th, 21st, and 22nd are going to be really good news for you as far as your love life is concerned. On the 20th of March, we have the sun going into Aries. That goes into your 11th house of hopes and dreams. So again, you're going to be very interested in pursuing your hopes and dreams and kind of upgrading your life so that you're living your best life. Also, on the 20th, it's the spring equinox if you're in the northern hemisphere. It's the autumn equinox if you're in the southern hemisphere. But regardless of location, it's the time of year where there's nearly equal amounts of day and night. And it's seeing what you're like on a conscious level, but also recognizing the shadow self and what's happening beneath the surface and what your unconscious is saying. And there's great dialogue between the two. So I think that's why it mitigates Mercury and Venus retrograde, and that you can trust if you fall head over heels in love or something suddenly fascinates you and grabs your interest, that you're not going to have a rude awakening when Venus goes retrograde in April, and that you'll still love and adore that thing. On the 23rd, the moon goes into Capricorn, and it stays in Capricorn moving into week 4 as well on the 24th. But it goes into Capricorn in your 8th house of institutions and authorities. And the 23rd is really a good day, so is the 24th, to get any paperwork done, to get any applications filled in, to deal with paperwork, bureaucracy, to get rid of red tape. You'll be able to work through that very easily without, pulling your hair out, and you'll be able to get things completed and done to a way you're satisfied with. So in week 3, the moon starts in your 5th house and it ends up in your 8th house. So that's the right-hand side of the chart. And the 3rd week here is very much about what is it that I'm looking for and what don't I have in my life just yet. And if something wonderful comes into my life, I'm going to hang on to it, I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to see where it leads me. So it's like filling a void. And I think particularly on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd, you're going to be very happy that someone or something comes into your life that makes you feel like, wow, that box has now been ticked. Week 4, Monday to Monday, the 24th to the 31st of March. Moon still in Capricorn on the 24th, so good for paperwork. Then it goes into Aquarius on the 25th and 26th. That's really great for you to study something new, to find some new area of interest as far as information is concerned. Then on the 27th and 28th, the moon goes into Pisces, and it joins Saturn and your North Node and Neptune and Venus, which has now moved back into Pisces. They're all sitting in your 10th house. So I don't think that you're going to be particularly interested in doing the best work of your life. I think you may have a tendency to daydream or to think about the wonderful things that have happened to you earlier in the month. If you really do have to do a lot of work on the 27th and 28th, just prepare yourself and say to yourself, I'm going to focus, I'm going to do the best I can, and I'm not going to let myself be distracted. Venus ingresses into Pisces on the 27th. Mercury ingresses into Pisces on the 29th. So what both of them are doing, because they're retrograde, they appear to go backwards, and they're moving out of Aries and going back into Pisces. The moon moves on into Aries on the 29th and 30th. and it goes into your 11th house of hopes and dreams. And again, it says, do you know what? Now's the time to take action and to overcome obstacles and to create the life that I want. Particularly on the 29th, we have a solar eclipse on the North Node, and it's a new moon in Aries, so it pulls in a ton of this fire energy, and it will influence you for the next 6 months, again, until August. And it says, this is what I truly want, this is what I'm interested in, and this is what I'm going to pursue for the next 6 months. This is what I'm going to work towards. So you're not going to be short of areas of interest. You'll know exactly what it is you want to pursue and why, what it promises you. And the great thing about this, despite the retrograde, is that it's not a fool's errand. It's going to deliver what it promises. So I think out of all of the signs so far, Gemini, you're the one who's least influenced by these retrogrades because, one, it's mitigated by Jupiter. And two, the eclipses really give you a clear understanding of what's genuinely important and what isn't. On the 30th, we have Neptune, the planet of dreams and intuition. That goes out of the sign that it rules, Pisces, where it's been for a very, very, very long time. And it moves into Aries, into your 11th. So not only will you know on a subconscious and conscious level, this is what I want, but now your dreams will even show you more of that, and your intuition is going to prompt you and encourage you to pursue what you want, regardless of what, your auntie thinks or what your teacher is telling you should pursue. This is what I like, this is what I'm going to do, so that's enough, and I'm going to pursue it. Then finally, on the 31st, the moon goes into Taurus, and it joins Uranus and Taurus in your 12th house of spirituality and spiritual strength. So you end the month with some sort of sign that comes your way that confirms that you're on the right track, and that encourages you to keep going and to move towards this thing that you're trying to bring into your life for the next 6 months. So in the last week, the moon starts on the 24th in your 8th house, and then it ends up on the 31st in your 12th house. So that's pretty much the top half of your chart. So anything to do with officialdom, learning new things, hopes and dreams, spirituality supporting you, all of that's going to be a big topic. The one thing to pay attention, and where you may not be as diligent as you usually are, is career. So make sure, particularly on the 27th and the 28th, that you put in as much as you possibly can deliberately. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with in March. I hope you have a fabulous month. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. I use astrology, the tarot, numerology, and my intuition in my personal readings. And to draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, it's not a terrible thing. I can use sunrise, although that means that the ascendant and the house placements aren't accurate. There's a process called chart rectification where you send me 10 or more significant life events that help me work out your time of birth. And once I have that, I've got your chart in front of me, and that's like a blueprint of who you are. So it shows me vocational aptitudes, it shows me life purpose, romantic relationships, family relationships, spiritual development, finances, self-employment versus employment, all these things. So if you have a question on yourself, your strengths and weaknesses, please get in touch. To look at what's coming up in future, I look at your progress chart, your solar return, if it's around your birthday, and your transits. And if there's anything around location or moving, I look at the astrocartography, which shows me which areas are going to work for you and which ones aren't. So if you have any questions, please get in touch via the website, gregoryscott.com. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. That helps the videos show up. Subscribe for more videos in future. And if you think anyone would be interested in watching this video, then please share it with them. That helps the channel grow. I hope you have an amazing March, and I will speak to you soon. All the best.